Archaeologists discovered a strange ice mummy, but the secret behind it shocked the entire world. In the summer of 1993, a groundbreaking discovery occurred in the icy lands of the Altai Mountains in Siberia, Russia. When Russian archaeologists excavated a burial mound on the remote Ukok Plateau, an isolated area near the Chinese border, they never imagined that beneath the permafrost lay one of the most mysterious and best-preserved mummies ever found in Asia. This was the Siberian Ice Maiden, also known by legendary names such as the Ukok Princess or the Altai Princess Ochi-Bala. The mummy was the frozen body of a young woman, estimated to be between 20 and 30 years old, belonging to the ancient Pazyryk culture that flourished in the 5th century AD. The remarkable preservation of her body and the accompanying burial artifacts opened a rare time portal, offering humanity a deeper look into the mysterious world of the Pazyryk people, a nomadic tribe that once lived on the Siberian steppes. As the archaeological team dug deeper into what was believed to be an ancient tomb, they discovered a completely frozen wooden chamber. To avoid damaging the artifacts, they melted the ice carefully using warm water. What emerged was a finely carved larchwood coffin, accompanied by 2 small wooden tables holding horse meat, lamb, and remnants of dairy-based food, possibly yogurt, stored in a handled wooden vessel along with a stirring tool. One striking detail was the presence of 6 horses buried alongside her, all facing east, a direction believed to hold spiritual significance in many ancient cultures, including Egypt and the Pazyryk. According to Dr. Natalia Polosmak, the lead archaeologist, the east symbolized rebirth, and the inclusion of horses indicated the deceased held a high status in society. When they opened the coffin, the team was initially disappointed. The body and burial items were still encased in thick ice, but as the ice slowly melted under warm water, what they saw stunned the entire archaeological community. A perfectly preserved female mummy, covered with elaborate tattoos on her shoulders, arms, and even her thumb. These tattoos were far from decorative. They depicted mythical creatures like winged leopards, deer with bird-like beaks and massive antlers, as well as powerful animals such as lions and rams. Notably, many of the tattoos were rotated 180 degrees, prompting speculation about their spiritual or magical significance. The mummy was immediately transferred to a research center in Novosibirsk, where experts performed a series of advanced tests, including MRI scans, DNA analysis, and even facial reconstruction. Through this, they confirmed that the woman was about 25 years old at the time of death and suffered from 2 severe conditions, osteomyelitis and late-stage breast cancer. Researchers identified a primary tumor in her right breast and signs of metastasis in her lymph nodes, indicating that she had endured extreme pain for an extended period before dying. It is believed she was brought to the Ukok Plateau, a sacred site for the Pazyryk people, so that her soul could rest and reunite with her ancestors. Initially, many assumed she was a princess or member of royalty. However, later archaeological evidence, especially a woolen headdress adorned with gold leaf and embroidered with 15 different bird species, led scientists to theorize that she may have been a shaman or spiritual priestess. The symbols on the hat perfectly match descriptions in Pazyryk culture associated with such a sacred role. This would also explain the elaborate burial and the inclusion of valuable offerings like fine horses and ritual food. Interestingly, although DNA tests confirmed she was part of the Pazyryk culture, the indigenous Altai people believe the Siberian Ice Maiden is one of their ancestors. They have demanded that her remains be returned to their original resting place. Some locals even believe that disturbing her tomb disrupted the spiritual world, angering nature itself. They point to a massive 7.3 magnitude earthquake that struck the Altai region in 2003, an event that killed 8 people and caused between $10.6 million and $33 million in damage, as divine retribution. Today, the Siberian Ice Maiden is more than just an archaeological mummy. She's become a symbol of mystery, spirituality, and cultural controversy. Her tattoos, illnesses, burial, and accompanying rituals have offered scientists a rare glimpse into the life, beliefs, and societal complexity of an ancient Siberian world. And as you can see, the question of her true identity remains unanswered. But one thing is certain: she has become an eternal witness to the history and spiritual legacy of a long-lost civilization buried beneath the permafrost. Yet, this ice mummy is not the only astonishing discovery. In recent years, beneath the thick, eternal ice, archaeologists and scientists have uncovered numerous fascinating and sometimes eerie findings that challenge our understanding of the ancient world. So now I ask you, are you curious to know what these other discoveries are? If so, let's continue this journey together to uncover the stories and artifacts hidden deep within the frozen past. The Inca Ice Maiden Mummy, Momia Juanita. On September 8, 1995, during an archaeological expedition to the majestic Mount Ampato in the Andes Mountains of southern Peru, archaeologist Johann Reinhard and his assistant Miguel Zarate made a discovery that shocked the world. They successfully unearthed the nearly perfectly preserved mummy of a young girl from the ancient Inca civilization. She became known as Momia Juanita, or more hauntingly, the Inca Ice Maiden. Her frozen body wasn't just a relic suspended in time, it was horrifying evidence of a brutal sacrificial ritual called capacocha, a sacred yet blood-soaked ceremony in the religion of the ancient Inca. According to researchers, Momia Juanita was only around 12 to 15 years old when she died. She was a beautiful, healthy girl, chosen as the perfect offering to be given to the gods. In the capacocha ritual, the Inca would select the most physically and spiritually ideal children, free of illness or deformities, for sacrifice during significant events like droughts, earthquakes, or royal anniversaries. It was believed that offering the most pure and precious they had would appease the gods, bring abundant harvests, protect them from natural disasters, and maintain balance between the human world and the supernatural. Juanita's death was directly tied to the mountain where she was found, Mount Ampato, a now extinct volcano once believed by the Inca to be a dwelling place of the gods. It's believed that she was led up this mountain by priests, a grueling journey lasting several days, and offered as a sacred gift to the mountain deity. But the end for Juanita was chillingly cruel. X-ray scans revealed that she had been struck on the head with a powerful blow from a blunt object, causing fatal internal bleeding in the brain, a silent death in the thin air, and bone-chilling cold of the high Andes. What's remarkable is that Juanita's body was preserved almost perfectly thanks to the harsh natural conditions of her final resting place. The freezing temperatures at the summit of Ampato preserved her skin, hair, and even her internal organs for over 500 years. She was wrapped in thick woolen cloth and placed inside a ritual bundle. Alongside her remains were numerous ceremonial offerings, miniature clay figurines, gold ornaments, seashells from distant coasts, food, coca leaves, and chicha, a type of corn beer commonly used in Inca rituals. These were sacred gifts to the gods, symbols of human reverence and hope for the world beyond life. The discovery of Juanita was partially accidental. Prior to her unearthing, a nearby volcano had erupted, sending hot ash into the atmosphere and causing the snow and ice on Ampato's summit to melt. It was this thaw that exposed Juanita's body, which had slid partway down the mountainside, where Reinhard and his team discovered her. 1 month later, during a second expedition to the mountain, they found 2 more child mummies at a lower elevation, also believed to have been victims of the capacocha ritual. Possibly sacrificed on the same occasion, Juanita was taken to the summit. Today, Momia Juanita's remains are kept under strict climate-controlled conditions at the Museo Santuarios Andinos, a museum in the city of Arequipa, not far from where she once lay frozen in silence. Visitors often shudder when facing her serene expression, her still visible black hair, and her hauntingly fetal sitting posture. Some feel sorrow, others feel fear, but all agree that Juanita is not just a mummy. She is a living witness to faith, to extreme devotion, and to the hidden pain behind the mystical veil of a once mighty empire that thrived atop the Andes. The Utsie Iceman mummy and the curse that allegedly caused 7 mysterious deaths. On September 19, 1991, deep in the snow-covered Alps, 2 German hikers were making their way through the Ötztal Alps on the border between Austria and Italy when they stumbled upon something extraordinary. Emerging from the thick, icy layers was a human body, eerily well-preserved. It turned out to be the oldest natural mummy ever discovered in Europe, estimated to be around 5,300 years old. He was named Utsie, after the place where he was found. But from that moment on, a series of inexplicable mysteries began to unfold, ones that would shock the world, not just for their archaeological significance, but because of the deathly aftermath many would come to call the Curse of the Iceman. The autopsy on the mysterious mummy was carried out at Hauslabjoch, a location that lies directly on the Austrian-Italian border. Thanks to the freezing conditions, the body had been naturally preserved, with soft tissues, skin, and even internal organs remaining astonishingly intact. Scientists confirmed that the mummy was a male, approximately 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighing about 110 pounds, and likely died between the ages of 30 and 45. Yet what puzzled researchers the most was not his age or gender, but the haunting question: what was this man doing high up in the icy mountains at a time when writing hadn't even been invented? Utsie was found with an assortment of strange belongings: a copper axe with a yew wood handle, a weapon considered extremely rare and valuable for its time, a quiver of arrows, a flint blade dagger, a small pouch of dried mushrooms, fire-starting tools, a game-carrying pouch, a sharpening stone, and a scabbard. Clearly, he was not simply a shepherd, as earlier theories had assumed. Pollen analysis from his stomach revealed that he had traveled a long distance in his final days, crossing multiple climate zones in just a short span, suggesting he may have been fleeing from something or undertaking a special mission. Wound analysis on the mummy also exposed shocking secrets. Utsie had been shot in the left shoulder with an arrow, suffered a deep gash on his hand, and sustained a major blow to the head, likely the cause of death. Traces of blood from 4 different individuals were also found on his body, indicating that he had been in a fight before his death. One theory suggests he was ambushed and murdered. But what's strange is that his body hadn't been looted. His weapons and tools were untouched, leading some to speculate that his death may have been part of a ritual or that it was connected to an ancient curse. However, what truly cemented Utsie's legendary status wasn't just his scientific value, but the mysterious string of deaths that followed among those who studied or came into close contact with him. At least 7 people linked to the discovery, examination, and research of the mummy have died under odd circumstances. The first was Dr. Rainer Henn, a renowned forensic pathologist from the University of Innsbruck who died in a car crash while en route to a conference about Utsie. Then came Kurt Fritz, a mountain guide who was killed in an avalanche. Rainer Holtz, who directed a documentary about the excavation, died of a brain tumor. The list goes on. Helmut Simon, one of the 2 hikers who first found the mummy, died after falling from a waterfall. The head of the rescue team that searched for Simon's body, Dieter Warnecke, died of a heart attack just hours after Simon's funeral. Konrad Spindler, the lead archaeologist who initially studied Utsie, died from a rare disease. Finally, Tom Loy, a molecular archaeologist who discovered blood traces on the mummy, passed away from a rare blood disorder. All of these deaths have scientific explanations, of course, but the uncanny timing and direct connections to Utsie have led many to believe that the 300-year-old mummy carries with it an ancient curse. A 56,000-year-old frozen wolf pup mummy. Hidden deep within the frigid permafrost of Yukon, Canada, for over 56,000 years, a shocking discovery emerged, one that sent ripples through the scientific world. It was the perfectly preserved mummy of a young wolf pup, later named Jour. Researchers described it as the oldest and most complete specimen ever discovered in the history of prehistoric animal archaeology. What made this discovery even more astonishing was that it didn't happen in a high-tech laboratory, but was instead unearthed by a gold miner working in the Klondike mining area near Dawson City. While digging through the frozen ground, hoping to find gold, not a nearly intact creature frozen in time, he stumbled upon this extraordinary find. What makes Jour so remarkable isn't just its incredible age, more than 56,000 years, but the fact that it's so unbelievably well preserved. The mummy still retains its soft fur, skin, muscle tissue, and even the internal bone structure. Just one look, and it seems as if this little pup had merely fallen asleep in the ice, ready to open its eyes at any moment. According to Associate Professor Julie Meechan, an anatomy specialist at Des Moines University in Iowa, this is an archaeological treasure of immense value, not only because of its pristine condition, but also because of the wealth of historical data it carries. Using modern X-ray imaging, researchers determined that Jour died at just 6 to 7 weeks old. This confirms that the pup was still very young and likely not yet weaned from its mother. Even more fascinating, stable isotope analysis revealed that this little wolf once lived during a transitional climate period, right as the glaciers began to retreat. It was a time of relative environmental richness, marked by an abundance of fresh water, underground springs, diverse ecosystems, and thriving wildlife. No longer fully encased in ice, the land provided ideal conditions for animal life to flourish, including ancient wolves. Chemical traces preserved within the pup's body brought yet another surprise. Jour's diet, and likely that of her mother, included not only terrestrial prey like deer and caribou, but also salmon and river birds. Their environment, rich in freshwater sources, resulted in a far more diverse diet than previously assumed. This insight reveals the wolves' adaptive lifestyle during the Ice Age, a time when survival depended heavily on the harsh climate conditions. DNA analysis of Jour allowed scientists, for the first time, to reconstruct the genetic family tree of Ice Age wolves. The results showed that this little pup descended from a lineage of ancient wolves originating from Russia, Siberia, and Alaska, forebears of today's modern gray wolves. However, Meechan emphasized that despite belonging to the same species, Ice Age wolves were significantly different from those we know today. Tens of thousands of years of evolution had dramatically reshaped their genome, reflecting adaptations to extreme climatic shifts. One particularly unique factor behind Jour's incredible preservation is the way she died. For her body to remain intact for so long, she had to have perished under extremely rare conditions. Her remains must have been instantly covered by permafrost, soil that remains frozen year-round, completely halting the decomposition process. As Meechan explained, if the body had been exposed on the surface for even a short time, it would have decayed due to bacteria or become food for scavengers. Only a rapid fall into cold enough ice can lead to natural mummification. Based on the excavation site and the condition of the body, experts suspect that Jour may have died suddenly inside her den, possibly due to a sudden ice collapse. This would explain why the corpse shows no signs of trauma, starvation, or struggle. Death came quickly, and the permafrost sealed the little creature in time for tens of thousands of years, like a frozen snapshot from Earth's ancient past. Today, Jour's mummy is considered a biological black box, preserving vital clues about the environment, climate, ecosystems, and species evolution during the Ice Age. In the world of archaeology, this discovery is more than just the story of a little wolf. It is a gateway to a distant, untamed age of our planet, where every strand of fur, every sliver of ice, and every fragment of DNA tells secrets that history books never wrote. 35,000-year-old frozen saber-toothed cat mummy. In 2020, a discovery that stunned the archaeological world took place in the icy wilderness of Siberia. Researchers unearthed a remarkably well-preserved mummy of a saber-toothed cat buried deep within the permafrost for tens of thousands of years. This finding wasn't just a milestone in paleontology, it offered a rare glimpse into the ancient predator that once ruled the frozen lands of Asia during the Ice Age. According to analysis, the animal died approximately 35,000 years ago, at only about 3 weeks old. It belonged to a now extinct species of saber-toothed cat known scientifically as Homotherium latidens. What shocked scientists wasn't just the specimen's age, but its near-perfect preservation. Despite lying frozen beneath the earth for over 3 millennia, the animal still retained its whiskers, claws, and portions of soft tissue, an incredibly rare occurrence in paleozoological archaeology. The remains included intact pelvic bones, femurs, and lower leg bones, all still connected to the small body of the young saber-toothed cat. And yet, the cause of death remains an unsolved mystery. This discovery holds tremendous significance because Homotherium latidens had long been considered extinct, with only fragmentary fossil evidence ever found. This specimen, however, offers scientists an unprecedented opportunity, not only to better understand the evolutionary biology and environmental adaptations of these Ice Age predators, but also to trace their final geographic distribution at the end of the Pleistocene epoch, the last phase of the Ice Age. According to the team from the Pazyryk Paleontological Institute, for years, the presence of Homotherium latidens across the Eurasian continent had only been confirmed through fossils dating from the Middle Pleistocene, around 770,000 to 126,000 years ago. That's what makes this discovery so remarkable. It provides rare evidence that the species may have survived into the late Pleistocene as recently as 35,000 years ago, much later than previously thought. This raises a fascinating question. Did Homotherium latidens truly go extinct as early as we once believed? Further analysis revealed that this species had extraordinary adaptations for cold environments. When researchers compared the saber-toothed cat mummy to that of an African lion, Panthera leo, of a similar age, the contrasts were striking. The saber-toothed cat had broader paws, allowing it to walk more efficiently on snow, and its ankle joints lacked shock-absorbing pads, suggesting it was built for speed and agility in harsh terrain. Its thick, soft fur functioned like a natural thermal armor, shielding it from the brutal cold of the polar steppe, a vital survival advantage during the Ice Age. But the saber-toothed cat had more than just cold weather adaptations. It also possessed a suite of unique anatomical features that made it a formidable predator: elongated, razor-sharp canine teeth, a wide jaw, small ears to minimize heat loss, long forelimbs, and a thick, muscular neck, all designed for hunting and overpowering prey with precision and strength. Its coat likely had darker hues, potentially to better absorb heat in frigid conditions. This discovery doesn't just bring us closer to visualizing a legendary predator that once prowled the frozen tundra, it also helps reconstruct the rich ecological tapestry of the Pleistocene, a time when modern humans, woolly mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, and saber-toothed cats coexisted in a brutally cold but teeming world. And most intriguingly, it leaves us pondering an even bigger mystery: how many more prehistoric creatures lie silently entombed beneath Siberia's eternal ice, waiting for the day humanity uncovers them, and with them, an awe-inspiring past that still slumbers just beneath our feet? You see, at first glance, it may seem like there's nothing remarkable beneath those thick layers of ice, but scientists and archaeologists have truly opened our eyes. And honestly, I don't think that's all, because where there's deep ice, there are bound to be even deeper mysteries. Do you feel the same way? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our future discoveries. For now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.